All right, welcome back. And today we have the Marvel Universe Grey Hulk. Now, it's funny because I've done nothing but glaze Marvel Universe on this channel. However, with this figure, I am going to have to take a bit of that back and tone it down a bit because admittedly, this is not one of their best outings. I know it may seem great and all, 3 3/4 inch Hulk, the detail looks really good. Oh my God, is that articulation I see? Yeah, it's good. It's just that it's not fully functional. And for being Hulk, I don't know why the Hulk is this fucking tiny. I mean, he's practically human size. All right, not convinced? You're not convinced yet? Hold on, let's convince you there. He's as tall as Bane. He's as tall as fucking Bane. And not roided out Bane. No. Regular Bane in fucking Arkham Origins. Probably when he is, I'd have to say, maybe at his smallest. I am sorry, but in no universe do I ever see Hulk being maybe 2 inches taller than Iron Man. I mean, sure, he's wide. I'd say he's about as wide as he needs to be, but the problem is that because he's so short, he comes across as almost stubby here, you know? And look, I know it's a 3 3/4 inch figure that went for, what, $12, $14 when it came out, but this is way too small for the Hulk. I'm just going to be honest. And we'll get into the problems as we go through, but still, no accessory. So starting off with the head, admittedly, it's a pretty good sculpt. It's a pretty good sculpt, I'll say. Got him angry, He's angry. He can't see his forehead, although I will say the eyes actually do have green pupils. I'll give him that, except they're just not painted very well. Because the green in this eye takes up damn near the whole eye, and it almost looks like he's looking, this way, Whereas this eye, he's like he's looking up and shit. So Hulk's cross-eyed here. Now, I know it's a 3 3/4 inch figure, but if you're gonna do eyes, don't do it like this, please. But the hair is admittedly really well detailed. I like that. He's got his underbite, pretty good face detail and everything. Ears, got his gray neck, Then we've got an admittedly great, sculpted muscles over here. Look at these pecs, dude. These things could crush watermelons. Look at that shit. More great, sculpting on the back. Although due to the way the articulation is placed, it definitely separates and it's, looks detached, if I'm going to be honest. Looks like his back slipped backwards. Definitely going to need more than the chiropractic to fix that. But it looks just very wide and smushed in because it's not that he's very wide this way. He's just wide this way, This looks like they got him in the wrong ratio. But yeah, arms, pretty big, beefy, meaty, which is fine. But the problem is because this figure is so short and stubby, they don't really come out very far. And with the way the articulation, sculpt and everything, it's just, I don't know, dude. It looks off. It doesn't look right. He only looks right when you pose him in like a muscle flexing pose here, This is the most normal he looks. But when you try to pose him any way else, it just doesn't look good. Because the hands here they put this fucking slant for the articulation, so it looks like he has no fucking wrist. It looks like his arms got kicked in, dude. Like, look at that shit. It looks like his arms just got Mortal Kombated. Like, it doesn't look normal. What were they thinking with this? Like, the forearm is just non-existent. It's only just this giant elbow here. Like, look at that shit. That shit is fucking huge. Like, I know I'm shitting on the anatomy of a roided out, a radiation roided out superhuman here, but like, look at this shit. These arms are bad. It just looks like his wrist got fucking broken in half here. His forearm, it's like he's missing half of his forearm. And then the doctors just decided to stitch it up, and we're like, fuck it, he might be missing a, quarter of his forearm here, but it is what it is. Like, that just does not look right. Does it? Like, it does not. It just doesn't. It's because they had to put this, you know, cut here, this wrist cuff here, to slide the wrist around. Like when they couldn't have just made a straight, perfectly normal, straight forearm, and it would have been fine, you know? But instead, no, they made his elbow huge and ginormous. Like, genuinely way too fucking large. Or maybe it's not that the elbow is too large, it's the forearm is way too small and non-existent. But anyway, yeah. Enough sparking out about fictional character anatomy here. You know, you got chiseled abs and shit, which again kind of does, you know, it looks fine, whatnot. Then you got his pants, you know, blue navy sort of jeans. I always fucking hate jeans, if I'm gonna be honest. This pocket's a little ripped for some reason. So we go here, and then here we go, some more nonsensical anatomy. And I'm not going to shut on too much because this is how most double jointed 3 3/4 inch figures look. It just looks the most odd here, if I'm going to be honest. So like you got these really big thigh and calf here, and then you got this tiny non-existent knee. Again, this figure's only meant to be looked at like this, at this angle. Anywhere else and it breaks how the figure looks. And then we've got these huge giant feet. Look at those grippers. You can even see the toenails and whatnot. Decently done. I will say the sculpt is perfect, immaculate for 3 3/4 inch. They did not slack. You know, you got some clothes ripped there and there, the knees exposed. All right, now for articulation, where this figure shits the bed. He can't look, well, he can look okay-ishly up, not all the way, but he can look all the way down. He can swivel. The neck moves a bit. I don't know why. I don't think that's supposed to be the way, but it sort of like jitters around. It doesn't really move, it just jitters around the neck. Arms go pretty far out, pretty far in. I'd say that's good. Biceps would swivel if the sculpt didn't get in the way. So there's a bend at the elbow, perfectly fine bend if I'm gonna be honest. But, you know, look at that shit. Yeah, look at that. But still, and then we've got the dreaded swivel here at the wrist, or, you know, I don't know, the forearm. Because he doesn't even have a fucking wrist. He's missing half a fucking forearm. There's no other way to say it. There's a ball joint at the top here, but it mostly goes up and down. It doesn't really rock. It's for side to side and up and down motions. There's a swivel here at the waist. Legs, they don't move at all. It's, well, okay, never mind. This one does move a bit, but not very far. You know, it's not the best. It's like a 45-degree angle. Not very far. They don't go out. Oh, wait, now it's working. Now it's going out here, but still, it doesn't move very naturally. There's a swivel at the thigh, a double jointed knee joint, and then a hinge and swivel at the foot. Well, with that said, what do I think? I think this figure could have been perfect had they not fucked the anatomy. You know, like, it's not that hard to make a big giant metahuman dude, you know, and give him normal forearms. I just don't know what they did here. So, but with that said, yeah, that's Grey Hulk. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.